off as well because this leather is dyed to this color, but you didn't really have any issues with the actual color rubbing off. And I know some people said they were having thumbing issues with their winning versions. With these, you see like you don't have any issues. That thumb tucks nicely into the index finger. With my winning ones, I didn't have that issue, but I know I've heard some people say that they did. But you can see the stitching overall looks really good. And like I said, granted, the price of these, you would think that these gloves would be a lot worse, but they're not. They're right up there with gloves that are about $100. Another issue I found with this glove was the actual balance of it. This is a very top-heavy glove. I wish that they would put a little bit stiffer padding along the wrist area. That way it would kind of balance the weight out a little bit more, and you can kind of see that this glove is a little bit on the floppy side, and a lot of the weight and the stiffness of the glove is towards the front of the glove. So just a little bit more rigid around the wrist would be nice. You can just see kind of how soft it is. So even though you lace this up and you can really tighten it down, the material itself I wish was just a little bit stiffer and not as soft as you see here. So you can see that this area right here could be a little bit of a concern for those of you that might have wrist issues because of how soft is kind of loose fitting that is as far as the material that they use. So stiffer material, a little bit more rigid material would have been better for that. Now the actual comfort of the gloves, putting them on, they feel great, nice and comfortable, excellent thumb. The section and wrist feels good. This thumb piping feels really nice. No issues with pinching right there. Grip bar placement is good. Finger compartment depth is perfect. One thing that they had the same issue with in the winning style glove was this seam right here. You can fill it with your fingertip, and that's again something I wish they would just put like a piece of neoprene or felt or just something to cover that stitching. That way when you make a fist, you don't really feel that stitching rubbing against your fingertips. But overall, they feel excellent. I mean, I feel like no issues with pressure points. The softness of the wrist compartment right here actually lends to a little bit more comfort because it just feels a lot more softer and pliable. But I would still like to see a little bit more of a rigid feel on the wrist area. That way it feels a little bit more locked in. But thumb feels great. Finger compartment feels really good. And you can see that I can open and close my hand with relative ease. So it definitely has a little bit more of a broken in feel when you get these gloves right off the bat. And even more so when you start using them. Protection and performance, I would say these gloves lend itself to be a little bit more on the protective side. They're definitely not a puncher's glove. You don't feel like your knuckles break through the actual padding. It's not like a horse here plus a latex foam glove. This is a multi-layer foam glove, so you can definitely feel the comparisons between these and like the Infinitudes or even the Sabas Pro Series, and the fact that they kind of intended for the glove to be more of an all-around gym training glove rather than specifically a bag glove or specifically just for sparring. So a good overall glove, and I feel like these perform really well. You can see that you can really land nicely on the your two front knuckles here. It's not too rounded, so you don't have any issues with uppercuts when you're hitting the bag and kind of your uppercut sliding off the bag. So it's really nice that in the fact that you have a good amount of punch surface right here, and you get a nice satisfying pop when you hit the bag with these. Cost-wise is probably the best part about these gloves, and I think that everyone's starting to kind of get turned on to Superior Boxing now, is that these gloves are about $35. Plus or minus, the $15 to $20 for shipping. So even then, at about, if you average it out, anywhere $50, $55, just depending on where you live, from Pakistan, shipped to your door, is actually a really great deal for a glove of this caliber. You're really going to be hard pressed to find something better than these, especially for the price point. I mean, even if these were like 75, 80 bucks, they would still be a good deal. So the fact that you can get them for about 50, 55 is even better. So hope you guys found this video informative. If you guys have any questions or comments, again, make sure you guys leave them down below.